This show powered by AgriGold for Central Illinois, your AgriGold reps Brett Lahr. He is your AgriGold reps for Central Illinois. This is Back Roads of Illinois on November 18th. Today, we are going to be having a conversation about the farm economy with Chad Hart from Iowa State University in Ames. We talk about the farm economy and the cash markets with cash markets in central Iowa. We will see what happened with next few months. I enjoyed it in Kansas City from National Association of Farm Broadcasters with some friends and colleagues in Kansas City for last week. This time for Agri-News and Information sponsored by AgriGold in Central Illinois. We talk about the hardships with the harvest season and the planting season in the Midwest like in Iowa, Illinois, Nebraska, South Dakota. I have a conversation with Terry Johnston for Farm Rescue in Kansas City. The Cattle and Feed Report on Friday morning at 11 Central Time from the Department of Agriculture. This will be putting the Farm Bill as probably passed for this December, but we will see what happened with next few months. This is your agriculture news and information sponsored by AgriGold in Central Illinois on Back Roads of Illinois. We're back with Chad Hart from Iowa State University. This is your open numbers of the commodity markets from Kyle Bumstead from Allendale Inc. Corn futures are down at 4 to 6 cents to the quarter. Soybean futures are down at 4 to 5 cents. Wheat futures are up to 9 to 8 cents. Let's go with livestock markets. How is the cattle markets and hogs markets for today's opening for this morning? Cattle futures are down to 5 to 10 cents at the half. Feeder cattle are down at 4 to 10 cents. Lean hogs are down at 4 to 5 cents 1/4. Crude oil are down at 6 to 8 cents per barrel. Dow Jones is up to 8 points. Get the most for every acre with AgriGold seeds for your field. You can visit our website at agrigold.com or call your local retail dealer today. AgriGold choose seeds for Central Illinois.
No.
We are going to be having a conversation about the farm economy with Chad Hart from Iowa State University in Ames. Hey, Chad, how are you today?
I'm doing well, Cesar, and I hope you can say the same.
Let's talk about the farm economy with the election in the world for this year. What is your thoughts are?
Well, we've seen, definitely farm incomes have declined as we've seen these lower commodity prices set in over the past couple of years. And that's having some sizable impacts as we look at the farm and rural community as a whole. As we've watched companies like John Deere have layoffs because of lower equipment sales than they had expected. And we've also seen challenges when it comes to the agricultural lending. And so we are dealing with definitely a slowdown within the farm economy. But we also, let's call it, see some opportunities for growth out there. when you think about how large the crops were this year, especially with corn and soybeans being at near record levels, we continue to see usage be fairly strong. And one of the things I am interested in as we look forward here is how the election changes the dynamics within the market, especially when it comes to trade.
Do you have any concerns about the sustaining of the farm economy?
I do have concerns, and I guess I'll frame them this way. It's more the question of, is the downturn we're experiencing now sort of V-shaped, where we could see some fairly rapid recovery, or is it sort of more U-shaped, like we went through with the last big downturn back in 2013, 2014, 2015? And I think, you know, if you were to poll a bunch of agricultural economists, I think more folks are lining up now with that U-shaped sort of recovery here, that we may be in this downturn for an extended period of time, especially if international trade is hampered in some way over the next couple of years.
Chad, what is the cash markets in central Iowa like in Altoona and Marshalltown, Iowa?
Our cash markets have settled into um, a little bit around the $4 range, mostly for corn. We're floating in that, high $9 range as we're looking at soybeans. So down significantly from a couple of years ago, but they're actually up a little bit from their pre-harvest low. We saw a lot of our lowest cash prices hitting in early to mid-August. Throughout September and October, we gained about 15 to 20 cents a bushel for both crops, and that has alleviated at least a little bit of pressure when it comes to the cash markets.
Did you talk to some folks about the cash markets?
When it comes to what I've been hearing about the cash markets, there have been a lot of producers that have definitely utilized their storage, filled that up in hopes of gaining on that, so on those cash prices as we go into next spring and early summer. They're looking for that seasonal price rally that we do tend to see within the crop markets. So I think a lot of folks are sort of banking on that possibility of, slightly stronger returns as we look for that seasonal price bump. I think, though, at the same time, too, they're not expecting necessarily for those prices to get to profitable levels. This is more about minimizing the potential losses that they might capture within the cash market.
I'm wondering what is your thoughts on the biofuel for right now?
Biofuel wise, it's a case of fairly strong within the markets, but the question is there is there possibility for growth as we look out there? As we look at the ethanol market, for example, the last few weeks, we've been seeing, tremendous usage of corn through the ethanol industry. And so that has been fairly strong through most of 2024. When we look at the biofuel side for soybean oil, we have seen that grow in importance over the past couple of years. It's sort of stabilized at around a 5 billion gallon market as we look out there right now. And so both on the corn and soybean side, that has been helpful over these last couple of years. It hasn't been strong enough to necessarily take prices higher, but it has helped stabilize them here, especially as we went into harvest time here in 2024.
What is the trends for biofuel for right now?
Right now, I would argue stable. The idea is, like I say, when you're looking at ethanol, it's producing as about as strong as it can. And since we're not adding any more new plants, we're not going to see that grow, but it's also not shrinking at all either. And so stable seems to be the name of the game there. As we look at the renewable diesel side, We had been watching that grow fairly dramatically over the past couple of years, but I think within the past 3, 4 months, we've seen that market slow down significantly. And again, it seems to be entering a stable phase within its market. And so that's good, strong, stable demand. But at a time when you're dealing with such large supplies, you
Do
kind of
you
need some
have
growth
any
somewhere.
final thoughts or recap of our conversation?
Uh, like I say, when I'm looking at the farm economy, we're finding some challenging times out there. And so as we're looking down the line, one of the big questions will be, do we continue to see crop usage growing as we go into 2025? And we brought up the two big areas to really concentrate on, biofuels and exports. And so when you're looking for where improvement could happen within the farm economy, it would have to be led by those two demand sectors.
Thanks, Chad.
My pleasure, sir.
This is Chad Hart from Iowa State University in Ames on back roads of Illinois. January feeder cattle dollar plus 2.500 closing at $252. February live cattle dollar plus 2.025 closing at $188.000. February lean hogs dollar dash 400 closing at $82.875. March corn -2 single quote 0 closing at $4.37 single quote 6. January soybeans -11 single quote 2 closing at $998 single quote 4. March Chicago wheat +2 single quote 0 closing at $5.67 single quote 6. March KC wheat +2 single quote 4 closing at $5.69 single quote 4. Closing quotes provided by Kyle R. Bumstead Branch Office Manager Erickson, Nebraska 308-708-7340 Allendale, Incorporated. The thanks to our friends from Allendale for bringing the final number. Thanks to Chad Hart from Iowa State University. Thanks to Listen on Back Roads of Illinois. You can listen to our show on YouTube and when you get your podcast. This has been Back Roads of Illinois. I am Cesar Delgado. Have a great day.